Com 1 to speak. We're going to listen to the ATIS on Com 2 right now. Get the weather information.
Wind calm, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 17, dew point -9er, altimeter 3009er. Localizer Delta, which are approaching use, landing and departing, runway 27 right, and runway 27 left. Tower frequencies are split, aircraft north for runway 27 right, tower frequency 120.7. Aircraft south for runway 27 left, tower frequency 123.8. Notice airmen. Runway 27 right, PAPI out of service. Work in progress, adjacent taxiway Charlie. Hazardous weather information available for Southern California on high WAS or flight service frequencies. Advise on which contact you have, information Foxtrot.
Pocket on your left, if you like.
Yep.
And now we're going to taxi. So I'm going to take control.
Yep,
my controls. Very good. We're going to turn the taxi light on. We're going to have a good look around, and then we'll release the brakes.
We're on Cessna 576 Sierra Papa, CFA request taxi to
Test the brakes work, very good, and then we're going to turn. It's very important when we've got dual controls in the aircraft, we know who's in control at any one time. So right now I'm in control. If I wanted to give you the controls, I'm going to say your controls, you're going to say
my controls,
and I'm going to say your controls. If I want to take controls back from you, I'm going to say my controls,
your controls,
my controls. Very good.
Got it.
There will be some points where I'm in control, but I want you to feel the control inputs I'm making so that you can understand what to do.
Yep.
And I will be flying, but I will tell you to follow me through on the controls. That will help you to feel what's happening without making any inputs of your own.
I'll just hold it loose here.
Okay.
Awesome. Got it.
Okay, so we're allowed to taxi on our ramp as much as we want, but we can't enter the taxiway until we've called up tower for a taxi clearance. So when we're in view of tower over here, we're just going to stop, power to 1000, taxi light off, and we're going to call up tower to get a taxi clearance.
Yep. We'll follow the Cherokee inside 576 Sierra Papa.
Gillespie ground, Cessna 509 Sierra Papa SAA with information Foxtrot request taxi 27 right.
509 Sierra Papa, Gillespie ground 27 right, taxi via Alpha 2, Bravo Delta, cross runway 35.
27 right via Alpha 2, Bravo Delta, cross runway 35, 9 Sierra Papa. We're here, we're going to taxi across Alpha 2, left on Bravo, and right on Delta to 27 right over here.
Yep.
Area is clear, taxi light goes on, and then we're going to move forward. Runway 35 is dead ahead, so before entering any runway, we actually want to turn all the lights on to make ourselves as visible as possible.
Yep.
We've got our clearance to cross, and we're going to check that it's clear both ways. So, clear, final, and runway on the left, clear runway on the right, but we can't see behind the wing, so we've got to swing it around as we enter to make sure it's clear behind.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, ground. Very easy. 41 at Alpha 2 with Foxtrot.
Final clear, very good. Entering runway 35. And we're going to turn left ahead on Bravo.
Yep.
Very good.
Nice, okay. Throttle, 1,800 RPM.
You're going to hold it on the brakes and you're going to add power until you get 1,800. But don't worry too much about the gauge.
Okay.
Because if you stare at that gauge and you add power, it's going to start rolling forward and you're not going to notice something.
Oh, okay.
So just add some power until you think you've got about 1,800 and just check it. There you go.
Yep.
Check it, adjust it.
Okay.
About 1,900.
We're around here on?
Perfect.
Perfect. Nice. And the magnetos.
Okay, so the magnetos are connected to the ignition. You're going to twist it one click to the left magneto, and the RPM should drop slightly.
Yep.
Then you're going to twist it to the right, back to both. It goes back up.
Yep.
2 clicks to the left tests the right magneto, and then back to both. Goes back up.
Nice.
Should be a drop no more than 150 RPM.
Okay. Vacuum gauge.
Hey, vacuum gauge in the green.
Yep. Engine instruments and ammeter.
All the other engine instruments should be in the green, and the ammeter showing 0.
Yep. The annunciator panel. It's
no lights.
no lights. That's right. And throttle. Check idle.
Okay, all the way to idle.
All the way down.
Tower, Cessna 5306
Hold it at idle, just let it
right,
slide.
request
Once
right
it's
downwind
stable,
departure.
then you can reset it to 1000.
1000. And you check outside while doing it, right?
Hold
Yeah.
short, runway 27 right.
Okay, that's too
Hold
much.
short 27 right, 06 Charlie.
Okay, back to 1000. Throttle friction lock.
So this is your friction lock. This is just how tight the throttle is. This is tight, this is loose.
Okay.
You can do that to adjust how much the throttle moves and make it comfortable for you.
Okay. Mixture, lean.
We're just going to lean to the same position we had earlier, about an inch. And we'll talk about that more later on.
Okay. Exterior lights.
Okay, all we need right now is the beacon.
Beacon.
Which is on.
And it's on, yeah. Radius and avionics.
Power's set. Air to air on standby for the practice area.
Yep.
Emergency on COM 2 and ATIS ready to land when we come back. All set.
Okay. And the flaps.
Flaps are up for normal takeoff.
Yep. Takeoff and emergency briefing.
So the takeoff briefing goes like this. It's going to be a normal takeoff, runway 27 right.
Yep.
Wind is calm, and if you check the SOX, that seems about right. Doesn't look like there's much wind at all.
Yep, that's right.
And we're going to rotate at 55 knots. We're going to climb at 74 knots, and we're going to make a right downwind departure.
Okay.
So I'll walk you through all of that.
Okay.
The emergency briefing talks about 4 scenarios. If we have an emergency before rotation, we're going to stay on the runway.
Yep.
We have an emergency after rotation with the runway ahead of us, we're going to land on that runway.
Yep.
If we have an emergency after rotation without runway remaining and below a safe altitude, we're going to have to choose a clear area, 30 degrees either side of the nose,
yep,
and attempt a forced landing. But if we had an emergency above a safe altitude, we can circle back to land at any runway at Gillespie.
Yep.
In a real emergency, I have control, obviously, and I may ask you to help me with the checklist.
Absolutely.
So one of you.
Yep.
Are there any questions on that?
No questions for me.
Awesome.
Let's see, the parking brake.
So we double check the parking brake is released, but we don't release the foot brake.
Okay. It's released, is it?
Yep, that's released. Right
okay.
there, that's perfect.
Nice. And that completes the checklist.
Cool, so the checklist goes away. My controls.
Your controls,
My
I'm
controls.
releasing the brakes now.
Cool. And I'm just going to call up tower so you can listen to what I say to them.
Yep.
Gillespie Tower, System 509 Sierra Papa, run up area 27 right, request right downwind departure.
509 Sierra Papa, Gillespie Tower, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff, no delay.
No delay, 27 right, clear for takeoff, 9 Sierra Papa. They said no delay, so I'm going to do it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
We follow line-up items, lights, camera, action. Lights on, cameras are a transponder.
Yep.
Runway's clear. Final clear, and action mixture rich. We're going to line up with the runway.
Yep. I'm gonna be with you in the controls.
Okay, yeah, follow me through. Go
yep.
for it. So we're lined up with the runway.
Yep.
27, 27. Release the brakes and full power, nice and smooth.
Full power.
Engine instruments should be in the green. Airspeed's now alive. We're waiting for 55 knots.
Yep.
There it is, and we're going to rotate.
Rotate, yeah. And we're flying a VI, I think, right?
Say again?
Are you flying 74 knots or how
yes,
much?
VY, so 74 knots.
Yeah. And there goes my phone somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, I have it.
Good.
Okay, 5-5, so we're going to level off.
Yep.
If you pull out the checklist, we're going to start with the cruise checklist.
Cruise checklist. Power from 2,100 to 2,700.
So we're going to reduce the power. 2,300 is our normal cruise power setting.
Yep. And mixture, lean as required.
We're going to lean that again out for this altitude.
Yep.
Perfect.
Elevator trim.
Yeah. The trim reduces control pressure.
Yep.
If I'm pitching up or down, we only have elevator trim, but if I'm pitching up or down, I don't want to be having to hold that control pressure for ages.
So you trim the forces out.
Exactly, so I've pushed the nose down to level off, and I've pushed the trim wheel forward to relieve that control pressure. When I think I've got it, I'm not having to push anymore. I just let go and I watch what happens to the nose. If the nose moves, then I just adjust it with a light grip, very, very light, and I add more trim and adjust it by sight.
16 Papa Lima was cleared to John Wayne after departure right turn 280 radar vectors mission bay 293 degree radial eyes filed 4,000 10,000 after 10 minutes frequency 119.6 clock 4652.
And that completes the checklist.
Awesome. So checklist away.
Yep.
San Diego East, flight Cessna 90 Sierra Papa 5500 Alpine over the 8, maneuvering San Diego East. So we're going to just play around with the elevator. Follow me through on the controls.
Following it through.
I'm going to use small and smooth adjustments. I'm going to pull back on the controls ever so slightly.
Yep.
And watch the nose starts to go up. Yep. If I keep pulling, it keeps going up.
Yep.
If I stop pulling and I hold it in position, I don't move it anymore, it's going to stay relatively constant until we lose speed.
Yeah.
When we lose speed, we lose lift, and then the nose will naturally want to go down on its own. If I start releasing that pressure, it's going to go down faster and faster until the airspeed starts to increase again.
Yeah.
If I hold that pressure, I don't move the controls anymore, airspeed increases, we gain lift, and it eventually wants to go back to where we were.
Yep.
It's a very stable aircraft.
It is.
And you've just got to hold it in position until it stabilizes.
Yep.
So why don't you have a go at that? I want you to slowly pull back on the controls to watch the nose go up. Your controls.
Okay, my controls.
Your controls. Slowly pull back.
Yep.
Nose
Should I just hold
goes
it
up.
there?
Yeah, just hold it there, that's fine.
Yep.
Nose comes up,
Yep.
and the airspeed decreases.
Yep.
And if you start to push the nose forward now, no, just try and use your left hand is all.
Yep.
That's it. There you go, nose goes down,
Yep.
airspeed starts to increase now.
There it does. Should I release like...
Release the back pressure now.
Yep. And let it...
Just get a feel for it. I don't need to do anything specific, I just want you to get a feel for the controls, as I'm sure it's a little bit different from the glider.
It is.
Cool. So that's pitch.
Yep.
Primary effect, well, primary effect of the elevator is pitch, secondary effect, airspeed.
Yep.
Cool. My controls.
Your controls?
My controls. Now we're going to play around with the ailerons, okay? If I turn the controls to the left, watch how we start to roll to the left.
Yep.
And I've still got them pointed to the left. If I stop pointing them to the left and neutralize the controls like this, we hold the bank. It doesn't go back to its original position.
It's holds here. Yep.
Now I've got to turn the controls to the right to return the wings level.
Yep.
And then snap them neutral like that.
Yep.
I want to turn to the right, roll to the right, snap them to neutral to hold it, and then turn the controls to the left to roll back to wings level, like so. Why don't you have a go at that? Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. Just roll to the left using left aileron, very good. And then snap the neutral position, very good.
Yep. And back to
wings level,
wings level, yep.
Awesome.
We're on the air, right?
Yeah, about that.
And you should
try and go to the right now.
Yep, to the right.
San Diego East, flight Cessna 90 Sierra Papa, VA Hassan Valley, 5500, maneuvering San Diego East. And back to wings level again.
Back to wings level.
Very good. Okay, final one, we're going to try yaw now. My controls.
Your controls.
My controls, I just want you to place your hands on your knee.
Yep.
And if I use left rudder, you can follow me through on the rudder pedals.
Yep.
The left rudder, I'm going to press it in, nose is slowly going to come out to the left.
Yep.
The more I press, the more it goes out, but I have to hold that pressure in with my left leg to keep it there.
Yep.
And now we're kind of flying this direction, but we're pointing this direction.
Yeah, so it's like skidding or...
Like skidding, exactly. And now our coordination ball is way out to the side.
Yeah.
If I return the rudder pedals to neutral, we go back to straight flight. We use right rudder, opposites true.
Yeah.
Let me know if either of you two feel uncomfortable.
Will do.
And then return back to neutral. Like that.
Yep.
So your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. Have a go at moving the rudder pedals. Just keep your hands on your knees.
Yeah, hands on the knees.
Like so.
Yep.
Very good. Hold that pressure in. Hold that pressure in.
Hold the pressure. Yep.
Awesome. And start to release.
Releasing. Here's neutral. Should I go for the right one?
Try the right one as well.
Yep.
Okay, sharp. We got a wide Cessna 3000, climbing to 3,500 feet over Vista, transitioning northeastbound.
Awesome.
Yep. I'm back to neutral.
Back to neutral.
East, white Cessna, just west of
Okay, my controls.
Your controls.
My controls, very good.
And we're headed.
Now we're going to try the same thing, but I'm not going to mess around with the aileron.
Okay.
So, without any aileron input, the aircraft is naturally going to want to roll if you induce a yaw.
Okay.
So, watch this. I'm going to do it to the right. Wings level. Follow me through on both controls.
Yep.
And I'm going to use right rudder, but no aileron.
Yep.
It immediately yaws and it immediately rolls as well.
Yeah,
what happens here is, if I leave it on its own devices, it starts to spiral dive. We're losing altitude, we're gaining airspeed. So the recovery technique is power idle, roll the wings level, and ease the nose up, adding power to begin a climb away. Like so. Now we're going to do the opposite. You're going to roll the aircraft and watch how it begins to yaw.
Can you change this a bit?
Yeah, you should be able to do that, and then it should slide out like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so no ailerons and just right rudder then.
No, you're going to use left aileron. I want you to use left aileron and watch how it begins to yaw as well.
Okay.
Your controls.
Yeah, so left aileron or...
left aileron, yeah.
Okay.
Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls, just use left aileron.
Yep.
Keep turning,
Yep.
keep turning, keep turning. Watch how the nose is starting to drop now. It's going downwards towards the ground.
It does.
Now it's starting to spiral down, right? We're starting to lose altitude.
Yep.
Starting to gain airspeed. So the recovery technique.
Yep.
Power idle.
Power idle.
Roll the wings back to level.
Back to level.
And then slowly raise the nose back up to the horizon.
Back to the horizon.
There.
Yeah.
You can add full power, nice and slow.
Full power, nice and slow.
And that will help us climb back up.
Yeah.
Good job. Cool. My controls.
Your controls.
My controls. So that's the primary and secondary effects of all the primary flight controls.
Yep.
What I want you to do in just a moment is test the elevator like so.
Yep.
Test the aileron like so.
Yep.
And the rudder.
Okay.
Just to get a feel of the responsiveness. So
Okay.
your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. Elevator.
Yeah.
A little bit more, that's it.
Yeah.
Aileron. And rudder.
Yeah. It's very sensitive.
Yeah. My controls.
Your controls.
My controls. And now I'm going to reduce the power and we're going to slow down.
Yep.
Exactly the same thing when we've got down to about 60 knots, about half the speed we're at.
Yep.
Everything's going to feel much less responsive.
San Diego Coastal, blue and white Cessna, Torrey Pines northbound toward Del Mar, next 10 minutes, San Diego Coastal.
Okay, your controls.
My controls.
Your controls.
And the same thing again.
Elevator.
Yeah.
Much less responsive,
yeah.
right? Don't worry about the stalling one, I got it. Aileron.
Yeah.
And the rudder.
Yeah. You can definitely feel that it's less sensitive, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
My controls.
Your controls.
My controls. Now, same thing again. I'm going to hold the speed. It's still going to be slow.
Yeah.
But I've got all this power now. Full power gives us a corkscrew prop wash.
Yeah.
And the propeller backstream is going to hit the tailplane. So the elevator and the rudder are going to get all that airflow back. They're going to be a little bit more responsive.
Yeah.
However, the ailerons are not in that corkscrew effect.
Yeah.
They're still going to feel pretty sloppy.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is feel the elevator for me, your controls.
My controls.
Your controls.
Yeah.
Pretty responsive again, right?
It is.
Try the rudder. Pretty responsive again, right?
It is.
And then try the aileron. Not quite as responsive as it was the first time, is it?
It wasn't.
Affirmative.
It requires more
Yeah, we got you inside as well.
input.
Good. All right. So what I want you to do now is we're going to have an exercise in trim.
Oh, okay.
So, I want you to push forward on the controls, lower the nose, and hold it right about there. Hold that picture. Don't let the nose move up. As we speed up, it's going to become harder to hold it down, so you have to push more and more and more. Very good. And that's going to get tiring after a long time, right?
Yeah, it is.
So what I want you to do is just use your left hand, hold it in position, and start to trim forward like that. Don't let the nose move, and trim until it feels like you're not having to push or pull with your left hand.
I don't have to push.
Okay, let go.
Let go.
Watch the nose. It's come up a little bit. I want you to push with your left thumb, just your thumb. Release the trim. Just push with your left thumb. Put it back to where it was before.
Yeah. So just release it, or?
Just push it back to where it was before. Hold it in position.
Oh, yeah.
And then add a little bit more trim by sight this time. So we did it first by feel.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. We did it by feel first, and then we do a small amount. We refine the trim by sight the second time.
We're around there, maybe? Yeah.
Pretty good, right? Oh, my controls.
Your controls?
My controls. So that's an exercise in trim. We're going to practice that more later on.
Yeah.
What we're going to practice quickly is an exercise in the other secondary flight control, which is flap. Neither of these two things should be used to actually fly the aircraft, but they help with the controls. Yep. They help with maneuvering the aircraft. So, flaps are mainly used for three purposes. Slowing down. Allowing us to have a lower nose attitude when we're at that slower speed. Like we said, if we pitch up, we slow down. But if we add flap, that helps us slow down without having to pitch quite as high. That gives us better nose visibility. We can see ahead of us, which is really useful when we're coming into land. And the third factor is our stall speed is much slower with flaps in, which allows us to fly slower without the danger of stalling. So what we're going to do now is we're going to practice using flap. Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. As long as we're below 110, we can add our first stage of flap.
Okay, should I do it now?
As you do that, the nose is what are going to come up because we add left. What I want you to do is hold the nose where it is as you add flap.
Okay.
So why don't you have a go with that? Push it down one click, like that. Nose wants to come up, so push it down, push it down. Try and hold the attitude where it was.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Hold it there, perfect. And you can use trim to keep it there if you need to.
Yeah, and use your thumb, right?
Yeah, just use your thumb. Awesome. As long as we're below 85 knots, which is the white arc of the airspeed indicator, that's when we can add our second stage, 20 degrees of flap.
Okay, so
another stage, just one more click downwards. As you do that, you add more lift, it's going to want to pitch up, so hold it down. And trim to keep it there.
Call for traffic, 66 Charlie Alpha, we're currently 2009.
Perfect.
Just over
Now again, as long as we're below 85, flap's going to go 30.
One more.
One more. This doesn't add much lift. It mainly adds drag, so you won't have to adjust the pitch very much, but you will see the speed will slow down even more. Now we've got the same pitch attitude as we had before, but we're much slower.
Okay, got it.
San Diego East, White Cessna, 90 Sierra Papa, 1 mile south of Viejas Mountain, 5,500 maneuvering San Diego East. Understand?
I understand it.
Any questions, guys? Awesome, you're doing a really good job. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to retract that flap. So we can retract the flap to 20 anytime. You can go up to 20,
And the nose is going to come down.
Nose won't do much, because this is only drag flap.
That's too much,
30 degrees of flap only really adds drag. It doesn't change the lift characteristic.
Yeah, that's right. So now the speed comes up a bit, at least.
Yeah, when you're above 60, which you are, flaps can go 10.
Okay, so one more.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Then you're going to lose lift, so you're going to have to pull back up.
And you have to trim it again. So we're around here, right?
And then above 65, you can go flaps up.
Flaps up.
And again, hold the nose up. And trim up.
Yeah, and trim up.
Very good. Nice work. Oh, my controls.
Your controls?
My controls. So we're just going to head back to Gillespie now. We're going to get the ATIS information.
Contact you have, information Foxtrot.
It's still Foxtrot, very good. Make a final position report. San Diego East, White Cessna 9 Sierra Papa Alpine, 5000 descending towards Gillespie, last call, San Diego East. Gillespie Tower, Cessna 509 Sierra Papa Alpine, 4700 descending with Foxtrot, request full stop.
Cessna 509 Sierra Papa Gillespie Tower, ident straight in runway 27 right for 3 mile final.
Ident straight in, report a 3 mile final for 27 right on Sierra Papa. Cool. If you'd pull out the checklist,
Yep.
Do the descent checklist for me, please.
Good afternoon, Gillespie Tower, Cessna 5291.
Power,
Echo is ready
as
to
required,
go.
we've got a high power setting to get back nice and fast.
Mixture.
Okay, mixture, we're going to rich and slightly as we descend.
Altimeter.
Altimeter 3009.
529
Yep.
Echo Gillespie Tower,
Cross check, yeah.
squawk
Engine instruments.
Engine instruments in the green.
runway 27 right, clear
They
for
are.
takeoff.
Fuel selector valve.
Squawk
It's on the bow position.
Very good.
Takeoff 27.
And the flaps are.
Set to up for now.
Yep.
Destination 03 Charlie, runway
And
27
that
right,
completes the
clear
checklist.
So we can do the before landing as well.
Yep. Cabin.
Ready my side, you ready in the back?
I'm ready.
Very good.
Ready. Fuel selector valve. Yeah, we should, but both. Mixture.
Okay, below 3,000 feet we'll go rich, but not quite yet.
Okay. Landing and taxi lights.
All on.
And they're on, yeah. Avionics.
Avionics set, we've got tower and ground on standby.
Got it. Heading indicator and compass.
About 250, if you can set that on the heading indicator.
250.
Yep, on the knob.
Oh, that's okay.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Altimeters.
3009er again.
Approach briefing.
So we're making a straight in approach from runway 27 right, and we're going to report a 3 mile final to AT. They know where we are.
Got it.
Flaps.
We're not going to use any flaps just yet.
Make right down
And
departure.
that completes the checklist.
Right,
Very
clear
good.
for
So checklist can go away.
Cessna 9 Sierra Papa, change to runway 27 left, runway 27 left, clear line.
27 left, let's land, 9 Sierra Papa.
Cessna 6 Sierra Papa, frequency change approved. Good day.
Frequency change approved, we'll see you in a bit to 576 Sierra Papa.
Dutch 03 Charlie, contact ground.
Contact ground, Dutch 03 Charlie.
Gillespie Tower 346 Charlie Papa, request that frequency change.
November 6 Charlie Papa, frequency change approved. Good day.
Frequency change approved, good day, 346 Charlie Papa.
Attention all aircraft formation Gulf current, wind 2806, September 3008. Cessna 9 Sierra Papa, contact ground.
Contact ground, 9 Sierra Papa.